Hello, savages. It's been a wet one, as you can see. Like, I just went back to my camp back there and it is flooded. It is soaking wet. There's at least 2 inches of water all over the camp's ground. You know, this just goes to show you can do this even if, you know, you just have a few sticks in your backyard. You can learn how to do this. But weather like this is what got me into bushcrafting in the first place. You don't need much: knife, saw, and maybe a few books, and you can learn how to do it. That being said, it's definitely a skill set worth learning if you're willing to put in the time. But you do have to put in the time, and you do have to get outdoors, and you do have to spend the time to hone the craft. I mean, bushcraft is a larger set of a bunch of small skills. You got knot tying, woodsman's crafts, hunting, fishing. There's a lot of stuff that goes into it. And that being said, you know, they're all skills you have to practice. Otherwise, you won't ever get better at them. You know, like I said, you know, I lived through Katrina, and being without power for almost a month, you know, you start relying on cooking your food on a grill, you know, cooking it over a fireplace. You got to rely on capturing your rainwater and boiling it because you can't even trust the water that's coming out of your tap. And, you know, without the skills I learned in the military, on top of the skills I was learning when I was a young kid, about 13, you know, it would have been a lot harder. I would have had to wait on FEMA to show up just to be able to, you know, make sure me and my grandmother were taken care of. You know, that's the thing. Like, a lot of people in situations where you lose power and you lose basic services that you take for granted every day, when it comes down to it, you might be the one that's being expected to know everything and make sure everything's taken care of. And if you don't have the knowledge necessary to do it, you could be in a dire situation and not even realize it. So, I mean, there's been a few tornadoes hit here and people have lost their houses. That's why being able to make a basic shelter is actually more critical than most people think. They want to sit around and say, oh no, that can't happen to me, but it happens to people every day. People in Oklahoma, people in Texas, people in LA even get affected by natural disasters. You know, wildfires in Australia, the wildfires that were happening in California this past year and the year before, that's a regular occurrence. The earthquakes, I was looking at one of my weather apps and it was saying earthquake just hit, I want to say it was Nepal. So, I mean, to sit around and say, oh no, this can't happen to us, or this won't happen to me, is actually pretty foolish. I mean, there are guys in a group that I'm on Facebook. They were saying a nuclear reactor was sending out warnings of potential hazards. And, you know, that's a situation I really don't want to have to try to live through. You know, I've been in the military. Mop gear only lasts for so long, and when it gets wet, it lasts even less. Trying to have clean water when everything's nuclear radiated is hard. It requires very specialized equipment. So, I mean, being prepared is a lot more than just some gear. It's knowledge. It's knowledge you learn. It's knowledge that'll help you. And to just sit around and ignore and not have basic first aid skills and basic sheltering skills. And what do you do when your water sources are contaminated? You know, you could set yourself up to make everybody in your family really sick. My beard is going crazy because of the humidity. There's nothing I can do about it. It's going to go nuts. Sorry, guys. But that aside, it's just, disaster is part of life, and to not be prepared for it is actually really foolish, in my opinion. Okay, savages, let me know in the comments below what y'all are prepping for and what y'all are learning to survive for. Everybody's story is a little different, so let me know below. And maybe I have some information that might help you. Go ahead, subscribe, and hit the like button if you found anything of any use in this video. I know it wasn't very informational like normally, but we got some bad weather, and I don't do the whole, if it ain't raining, we ain't training. Learning in rough weather is kind of tough. Makes everything harder. I will see you guys next time. Y'all stay safe. Take care.